Hey, before we begin your honey episode, let's thank some really good people because they sponsor the podcast. Inspect All Pest Services, they are the title sponsor for Podcast Imports 3, which, by the way, you can get your tickets at distinctgrace.com, providing the highest quality termite, pest, and wildlife control. But they'll also take care of your insulation, pressure washing, gutter maintenance, and other home services based in Metro Atlanta and servicing that area and the surrounding areas. InspectAllServices.com. The Mad Dog, Manny Aurora, best damn defense attorney in this country, litigates all over the United States, based out of Georgia. We're talking criminal defense, white-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, and more. TheAuroraLawFirm.com. Dr. David Markwell. Need help? Get help. He is the best in the business when it comes to therapy. He's not stuffy either. He's got 10 therapists in-house there at Ridgeline Counseling in location. You can go across from Sprayberry High School, this all in Georgia, Sandy Plains and East Cobb, Marietta near the Square, and McKaysville outside of Blue Ridge. But if you are not in the state of Georgia, and there's a good chance you're not, you can do virtual sessions. MarkwellTherapy.com or shoot him an email, ridgelinecounseling@gmail.com. And FBC Insurance, lifesavers to us, maybe to you. A lot of people asking about FBC Insurance. Perfect for new homeowners like us, or if you just want to reshop your current insurance policies. 5-star service, shopping over 35 A-rated companies, and they'll find the insurance carrier for you for your home, flood, auto, motorcycle, boat, recreational vehicle, or personal policy. They beat our last insurance carrier, I can tell you that.
Big time.
888-308-1841, or you can email them directly, info@fbcinsuranceservices.com, or get a quote online, fbcinsuranceservices.com. Servicing Alabama, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, and Virginia. If you'd like to sponsor the Honey Podcast or the BS Podcast, you get them all. Get a hold of me via the website, thebaileyshow.com. Love to have you on board. Let's begin.
Go ahead and leave a comment about how you deal with your children leaving home while I recover.
Honey, I raised the kids.
Our kids leaving the nest is never easy. So in order to cope, Jason and Rachel have decided to share the journey of their kids, Caleb and Ariel, or Beez as most know her. Follow the story in this podcast.
Honey, I raised the kids.
All right, there it is, episode 15 of the Honey, I Raised the Kids podcast on the BS Network. Thanks for being here. My name's Jason Bailey. Right there, that is my wife, Rachel.
Hey, y'all.
Better known as RaeJae.
That's us.
As we're nearing closer to the end of
The end of what?
the Honey, I Raised the Kids podcast in the mobile Golden Scissor studio until it finds its new home.
Permanent home.
Because we finally closed on we're getting ready, I should say, to close on our house this week.
Clear to close.
Clear to close.
Woo! Best words ever.
4 moves, 1 year.
Oh, I'm so done.
Now, I never even did that in college.
No, nobody does that.
It's all because of one person, that sumbitch.
Real dumb.
Yeah, so we'll finally get some normalcy to our lives, and the new Golden Scissor studio will be built out thanks to Jeremiah fucking Sample. It's going to be good. So by mid-August, 2024, I'll have a nice new studio, very similar to the original Golden Scissor studio in Atlanta, which was the OG, my baby. And I miss that. I miss that studio.
You're going to have all your stuff hung back up.
I know.
Put up. You're going to be in your world.
I'll have my bent Golden Scissors studio sign back on the wall thanks to Create Graphics. And I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. So we don't have to.
It's going to be so good for your OCD.
I know.
It's going to be I have to tell you, you have done so well with not losing your shit in this world of like the crazy that we're living in. Like, I'm very impressed.
I'm impressed.
You've come a very long way over the last 13 years. Like, this is the most controlled and chill you have ever been.
I have no choice.
About everything.
I have no choice. I will tell you that on a daily basis, because of this past year in California, and how our world has been flipped upside down.
So upside down.
I've got no choice.
Okay.
Like, I mean, if if we, let me explain to those that are listening what we're about to endure, what we're about to go through as a family. We are moving into yet a new place.
Yep.
This will be home.
Time.
This will be home.
This is it.
This is like the Florida version of our Atlanta house. It's very homey.
Mm-hmm.
And I invite each and every one of you, if you're down in Florida, to stop by. We will have
we love to have you. We like to party.
We,
Let's go.
We will have a saltwater pool.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Which is badass, right? In a nice big yard.
And nanner trees.
I'm
so excited about my nanner trees.
It's going to be awesome. We've got that. We've got Beez going to school.
Oh, I know.
University of Alabama. We have to take her in about a month.
Roll Tide.
And drop her off, which is what this episode will be about here shortly.
Yep.
We have a wedding to go to in Maryland.
We do.
Yep. And we have our super secret project that we're working on.
Which is so exciting. I just want to go.
That is taking forever to get to square one. And
I got my real estate license here.
I was getting there.
Sorry.
And Rach just got her real estate license in the state of Florida. She crushed Georgia, top 3 producer in her company for many, many years in the state of Georgia. And now she gets to do it here in Florida on top of our super secret special project that we're working on.
Yeah. We're in Rock, Florida.
So that's our schedule for the next month, mind you.
It's a little intense.
It's a little intense. I'm sure I'm missing something, but it's going to be nutty, buddy.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely nutty, buddy. The University of Alabama thing. I mean, this is the big kicker, especially with, what this podcast is all about, being empty nesters and getting ready to be full-time empty nesters. And like I said from the very beginning, from episode 1, I mean, this is therapy for us. And
it's huge, necessary therapy.
And it's really been cool. It's one thing with the BS podcast, because you were, radio listeners, and that show is very reminiscent of the radio show. So you kind of knew what you were going to get, and you stuck with me, and it is what it is, as I said.
We love y'all.
This one is different, kind of going outside of my comfort zone just a little bit, but knowing I needed to do this for therapy, because we're going to be empty nesters. And just over the past, this is episode 15, just over the past 15 episodes, to see the traction and new people outside of the 2 peers in the BS community that have started to listen to this, whether it's on the YouTube channel at The Bailey Show, because this is a free episode. And you don't have to be a subscriber to the BS to listen to this, obviously, or on Spotify or any of the other platforms. But we're getting people outside that are going, oh my God, I'm going through the exact same thing.
Welcome to Crazy Town.
And the advice that I get back, I get DMs all the time, and people reaching out going, oh, I can relate to this, or heads up for this, has just been really, really cool. Like this is very cultish. This empty nester thing is very cultish.
It is very cultish because everybody goes through it, but y'all are that are messaging Jason and telling him these things and advice and what have you. I'm the crazy one, okay?
That's true.
Y'all need to send that stuff to me.
Let
Let me know.
You heard her say that, right?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody. So when I don't wake up one morning.
Didn't you just get a life insurance policy?
Yeah, remember.
Is it time ticking?
Remember, it's the Honey, I Raised the Kids podcast, episode 15, that will put her behind bars.
Oh, you're going down.
So
going down.
Just a heads up.
Listen, it's fine when you have a life insurance policy, and I feel like I should have a say on what that number is, and then I need to know the parameters as to is there a certain timeline, I can slowly kill you by poisoning your cupcakes, but lovingly and still killing you?
Not wood chipper?
No.
Yeah. Would you like to remind the audience of how you've already planned on killing me? And it was my idea.
Oh, it was such your idea. You did that.
Hold on. Unintentionally, I gave
you planned your murder.
Rachel a way to kill me, and it's
no evidence.
It's safe. She's not going to get caught. Would you like to share?
Yeah. So listen, you had a KJ, now we have a green egg. Mm-hmm. Same concept. We can handle this. I am going to chop up all your body parts. Mm-hmm. Put them into the green egg
Mm-hmm.
in the little rotisserie little tosser guy.
Great endorsement for green egg, by the way.
Forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit disintegrates.
Mm-hmm. And what do you do with the knives?
Listen, if Lieutenant Dan says it's okay
Mm-hmm.
to take them to Goodwill,
Right.
clean them up, drop them off to Goodwill takes kitchen knives. Why would you do that? I don't know.
Right.
I mean, like, there's so much evidence, probably,
So for
at Goodwill.
some poor soul that's just looking to get a deal on kitchen knives, they're
Got you.
actually going to get the knives that ended my life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine.
And they'll be gone and never be found again.
Nobody will ever know.
Mm-hmm.
Drop them off at Goodwill. They're gone. I'll bleach them first. It's fine. They don't need any of your, like, goo or anything.
I'm going to feel horrible if after this episode is released and there's a news story of
Ooh,
somebody.
it's a new Crazy Bitches channel show.
Right.
Wives with Knives.
Well, it's
You
already,
didn't know.
already exists.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just a new episode.
Yeah, grilling with bitches. Grilling with crazy bitches. That's what it's going to be called. So we went to the University of Alabama the other weekend for transfer orientation because Beez is technically she's going to be a sophomore.
Yeah,
And
she did her first year in California.
She did her first
year of college.
at Sierra Community College. And so the University of Alabama, I can't say enough nice things about them. And I know, for those of you that are Georgia fans or Florida fans or whatever college you represent, especially in the SEC, I'll post things on social media and you'll always get a go Dogs, and that's cool. I get it.
Sports aside.
Right. Sports aside.
Yeah, sports aside.
This is
School.
this is education
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
relax with your football fandom. I get it though.
Parenting side of things.
Just be nice. I know you can't say roll tide, but just understand this is all about academics.
And we are naturally obligated to roll tide.
So that's the thing. And I'd mentioned this on a prior BS episode is we get there and, it's a 1 day big orientation.
Mm-hmm.
And this campus, first and foremost, is just unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Absolutely unbelievable. Beautiful.
And huge.
So happy to be back in the South.
Yep.
Where people have manners.
They
and
hold the door for you.
Hold the door, and they're nice and they're sweet, and the kids were well mannered, and the staff was fantastic, and everything was great. And we get into the orientation, and they teach us. They say roll tide.
Everybody.
And you've got a room full of people. I mean, you're talking a couple hundred people, parents and kids and whatnot. And it was what you would expect if you don't go to the University of Alabama. It was, you got a couple people that gave you a roll tide, that kind of thing. And then they it was like a cult. Like I had said on the BS episode, they were like, no, you don't understand. We're not starting until you say roll tide. And so they said it again, and then you got a little bit more. Roll tide, and then it was like, no, that is not good enough. And they're like, one more time. And like, roll tide. And everybody's like, roll tide. But it was very cultish.
Yeah.
I
Y'all
felt
better
like
get on board.
you better get on board. And by the end of the orientation, everybody was roll tiding.
Yeah.
Everybody
Everybody
was
roll tides.
roll tiding.
That's it.
So what did you take away? Well, let me go through it all first. So
Okay.
we go, we check in at the finest Best Western that Tuscaloosa has to offer. Let me just tell you something. My wife is the worst.
I'm so in trouble. You missed so many different things, but you go, and then I'll talk. You go.
My wife is the worst booker when you're traveling. Now let me give you an example. Some of you might remember this. A couple of years ago, we were going to look at a property in Destin, Florida, when we were living in Atlanta, Georgia. She books an Airbnb in Panama City Beach,
Listen,
which is an hour away.
I'm dyslexic. It's not my fault.
That has nothing to do with dyslexic. If you were truly dyslexic, you would have booked us in Michigan. It's the opposite, dummy.
Sorry.
We'll
My bad.
just book it, whatever. I mean, how difficult can it be? It's Tuscaloosa. It's not New York City.
It was 3 miles from the university, and I picked one from the list that the school sent out to the parents.
Mm-hmm.
The school sent this list of all the places to stay that are within very close proximity to the university.
Mm-hmm.
So I just picked one from there.
Understanding that I'm a hotel snob.
But I didn't want to pay $400 a night
No, I appreciate that.
for the room.
No, I appreciate that.
So I did not choose. I could have and just booked it and been like, thanks, dude. Let's go.
Yeah.
But I did not do that.
So lucky for us, we stayed at the Best Western. There's always a hotel that is housing all the workers they're making the interstate a better place to drive.
That's where we stayed.
That's where we stayed. We get the dogs. Yeah. So she picked that hotel. So it was filled with fluorescent shirts. And look, I'm not beating up on the job. Don't get me wrong. It's fine. I'm just saying that
they were all real nice.
Very nice. But when we went to Continental Breakfast, it looked like an 80s rave. It was like
awesome.
Everybody had bright yellow shirts on. And it was like, oh man, I don't think I'm going to get a piece of bacon today. Because these guys are just...
Those fellas needed to load up on their bacon.
Those fellas were...
They were run out all their calories in the hot sun.
So this small little room that housed the Continental Breakfast, there was a line that went into this small little lobby of the Best Western.
All fellas.
And it's like, oh man, I just don't know if I'm going to get any bacon today.
Coffee and bacon.
Just really want some bacon today. Yeah. So that was the Best Western. We did have a beautiful view of the pool, which like a handful of people were using. Mm-hmm. And it was about 10 minutes from the school. We're picking up the tutus. There's the tutus.
She needs to get up here.
For those that are watching the episode on the BS YouTube channel at The Bailey Show, you can see...
Petunia needs to be a part.
You can see the tutus.
There she is.
There's the tutus. Say hi, tutus.
Beautiful girl.
Beautiful girls.
Oh, beautiful tuna.
Oh, she wants to talk. There she is, sniffing away. So, we're about 10 minutes away from campus, and then, it's orientation day, so we're there bright and early. And they did a really, really good job of organization. I mean, that was
very well planned out.
That was a big, I don't know if you realize, that's a big to do, to have all these parents and everybody thinks they're special. Mm-hmm. So they've got a ton of questions, and then everybody's got their own thing, with financing or housing or classes, especially the scheduling of classes, and every kid is different with the same, thing.
They had that down to an art.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Broke everybody out to their major specifics, and, your parents are going with you for this. Okay, you guys are in charge of this, and, parents are going to stay here this time. Go get at it, big kids. You got to go schedule your classes. They're not coming with you. They're not helping you. You are on it now.
Right. Yeah.
And it was so good.
So we did the orientation. We go through because of Beez's situation. She has the VA side of things. So we went to a special little thing for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that lady and her team.
She was awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. On
top of everything.
That is, so when we did the VA stuff the first go round with Sierra Community College, thank God I have a casualty officer that helps me do a lot of these different things. It was a little crazy the first go round, but with how the University of Alabama has their entire VA program set up is just incredible. Yeah. And with all of her paperwork is always different no matter what, and just because her situation is not the normal for the VA and the GI Bill and what have you. So with that being said, all of her stuff has to be processed different. The lady was like, don't worry about it. Mm. We've got it.
It was interesting. It was
just awesome.
It was interesting for me to, because I have nothing to do with any of that. Most of I think Ariel's situation and Rach's situation, where Ariel's biological father was killed in combat while serving in the military some years back.
Yeah, when my first husband was killed in Iraq in 2007, so she would have been almost 2.
So people in that room, I don't think there was anyone else that situation.
It's not normal.
But everyone's got a situation.
Yeah.
And so I was just looking around and just wondering what everybody's story was, because I'm just assuming, as a big supporter of our military, I'm just sitting around like wanting to go to each and every one of these people and say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, and then you had some kids with their parents that, you know, were recipients of whatever they were getting.
Sure. Yeah. So most of the kids that were there had their parent that they were getting their benefit from was with them.
But there were also people that were by themselves. The adults. Younger, young adults, like the guy that came in late and sat next to me. And he
was in the military.
He was in the military and a veteran, which, I went to college with a guy, Nick Kelly was his name. And when we pledged Sigma Chi, he was in my pledge class, but he was, quote unquote, much older. And when you're in your 20s, if you're 3 years older, you're in your mind, you're like, oh, he's ancient, he's old, but he, and I this is my fault. I never really learned his entire story, but I know that he served in the military. We had a couple guys that had served, I believe, in the military, and they did their, 4 years or whatever it was, and then they went to college and got an education. Yeah. That is extremely commendable. Like the time, and I know probably people sign up for the military with one of the main reasons, not only to serve your country,
because you get to go to school,
but you get to go to school. And I think that is so commendable.
It's a lot of work,
because you've now been in the real world, and not just the real world. I mean, the real world, something that people like me can't even fathom. And you're out there and you're doing your thing for 4 years, let's just say 4 years for conversation's sake. And then you're willing to come back and do another 4 years in college after you've already been in the real world, real world. Yeah. So you're like 25, and by the time you graduate college, you're going to be 30 or almost 30 when...
You've got so much life experience at that point.
Oh my God. So much life experience and what you've been through. It
doesn't even matter what time, what your timeline looks like.
So, again, University of Alabama, Roll Tide, your VA program, and the lady and the ladies,
just incredible, that
were heading that up. And the other thing that I noticed is that they had a group of kids. When I say kids, just college kids. There's a lot of young people at the school. And I wish I were this person when I was back in college, that just want to be a part of something. So they've either started clubs or joined clubs, and everything has a club. And so with the VA stuff, there are these 3 college kids that came up and spoke, and they talked about fundraising and things that they do and this and this and that. And I was just like, that's awesome. Like, they're just a part of something. Instead of, laying on your couch or every day just going out and drinking and doing, I'm sure they're doing their share of partying, but they also have another purpose outside of getting an education.
And the reason why they wanted to go to the big school.
One thing that I learned when taking our daughter to the University of Alabama for orientation is how much I missed when I was in college by not
participating,
inserting myself in all of these opportunities that I knew existed when I was back in college. What a lazy, stupid son of a bitch I am. And I don't think they'll take me at 49.
I think they would take you if you wanted to go back.
I don't think they'll.
I don't think you want to go back.
I don't think I can join other clubs at 49.
You could do it.
I don't think they will.
Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. We're going streaking.
I'll be like, hey man, I did this radio thing. I'm a podcaster. I got people that listen. I was like, is there anything I can do? You want to party on Friday night, guys? I wouldn't even know what to do. It's just so sad.
I don't have any kids anymore. They've all moved out of the house. My daughter's living in the sorority house right down the street.
It was also interesting to see the different kids that were helping with the orientation that all already go to the University of Alabama. And you can, I don't want this to come off wrong, but you could see the kids that are going to make it, and then
sure.
and then you could
sure. Sure,
and then you could see the kids that are like, it's just not. I just hope you had a good time. It's just not going to work for you. I felt so horrible thinking that. But when they, all the kids got up on stage, I was like, that little blonde girl, I was like, that girl's going to be something. And then I look over there on the other side, I'm like,
She's in a struggle.
I just don't see it happening for you.
A lot of work going.
I guess you need to hang out with that girl a little bit more often because you need to work on that.
Be friends.
You need to do something.
Let's
So,
get some friends.
so we'll start with the orientation. What did you learn from that?
So I feel like it makes me feel so much better, and I think easier to let it happen.
Let her go.
Because I'm so happy that she's decided to go this route and to have this experience in life that it's an incredible opportunity that she's not going to pass up.
Yeah.
That she is excited about Rush. She's excited to go and insert herself into this community that it's a community, and it's such an awesome way of life that I think she's going to get so many different life skills out of this that I feel good about it.
You think she was scared?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so do I.
Because she is kind of shitty about me taking pictures.
Yeah. Rach went all mom. Like full-blown mom. Like, I need you by the sign. I need you by the podium.
I really needed it.
I need you by the door. I need you by the elevator. I need you by the carpet. I need you by the chair. I need a picture. I need a picture. I need a picture.
I just want a picture by everything but I just needed that. In like the whole mom world, I needed it.
Yeah.
And
well, I didn't understand. Well, look, at this age, I didn't know why she was kind of shitty. And I'm on your side on this one. Because kids, all they do is document everything they do.
Yeah.
I mean, she'll sit there with her phone and...
Well, because she didn't want to look like a freshman. Because she's not coming in as a freshman. But I don't know if you knew that most of those transfer students that were there were coming in as juniors.
Yeah.
So they were all older than her. And I'm like, you don't understand. You get more time here, more time for awesome here than they do.
Yeah, did she not understand? Like most people transfer after they get their
second year.
Yeah, after their AA.
Right.
Yeah.
No. So I talked through that with her after the fact and said, you're transferring, you're doing this transfer situation sooner than what most of these people are.
Yeah.
Like that other little blonde girl that's rushing as well. I don't remember her name, but that she met during orientation. She's a junior. So she's easily a year plus older than her. And I'm like, she's feeling the same situation as you, but she's a little bit further along with, she's like, I don't have all these same classes that they do, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, Ariel, you're not going to. Because, some of her classes that she took in California are not like real classes in the world. And they don't shock her.
How to start a mob to steal things. 101.
No, but like women's history was the only option for a history class for her in California. Guess what? It's not a real class.
No, they've got real classes here.
Yeah, it's not a
no
real...
offense to women in history, but I'm just saying.
No, but it's not a real class that is something for building for her degree. Right. And so she's got a lot of elective credits.
It was also interesting because like when I transferred to UCF in 95 from Wingate College in North Carolina, literally my friend Erin Pasquarelli, she was a Sarasota girl, and we weren't even friends in high school. We didn't know each other that well, but she was sweet enough to walk me through campus.
Oh, that's nice.
And literally there was nobody on campus. She was like, "Oh, I'll take you to get your classes."
Yeah.
We just one day, I don't even know how it happened.
That's great.
Literally just went and I got classes, and that was it. There was no orientation. There was nothing. And then when you would meet somebody, it was like you had to gauge the meeting of, like, a dude never asked another dude for his phone number. It was very rare, right? You wouldn't go like, "Hey, dude, we should stay in contact. Why don't you give me your phone number to your dorm," right? Not even a cell phone, to your dorm.
You got a house phone?
You didn't even do that, right? The only time you would get a phone number is if, you meet a somebody of the opposite sex or
Meet a
somebody that
lady.
you're interested in, right? So you're going like, hey, hey, what are you doing? And we should swap numbers and this and this and that. Now they all stay in contact, which is kind of neat because the line is, what's your snap?
Yeah, you're like, what does that mean? What do you mean, what's your snap?
And it's as easy as taking out your phone and there's a QR code and they scan it, and then they're in contact.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to
They
talk.
can make friends real fast.
They don't even have to call or talk to each other. They just see what their lives are doing on a daily basis.
Yeah, so they feel apart.
I was like,
That's cool.
that's cool, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's great for networking.
Yeah.
That's great for making friends. We just didn't have that.
You'd feel connected all the time.
I mean, we had to actually make a schedule to call people. Right? It was like,
You have a little Rolodex.
it was like, oh man, I met Billy last week and I haven't followed up with our meeting. I should probably reach out to Billy and invite him out on Friday night just to see if he wants to hang. I don't know what type of person he is.
I don't know if I'm going to like him.
But, I told him I'd
Stupid
call, and then like you have this mental itinerary of people to call.
Yeah.
And then you'll forget, and then you'll run into Susie at the bar, and Susie's like, I gave you my number. Why didn't you call me?
Oh, Billy and Susie.
And you forgot to call Susie, and Billy's like, well, he didn't forget to call me. And Susie's like, well, what are you into?
That's a lot of remembering.
That's a lot. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think I'd be good at that.
Now they don't have to do that. Now it's just
No.
like, hey, I saw you at the 7-Eleven the other day on Snap. You got a slushie? Cool. Thumbs up.
Slushy days.
Slushy days. So after orientation, which was the full day, and they what did they? We did the finance stuff. We did the school stuff. The cop talked to us. There's a lot of little sections of
Education classes.
Education classes.
On daily life and
Sports.
services available for the kids to
Talk-
help them adjust.
Talked about sports.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about clubs. Talked about the games, and
Yep.
they get into everything for free except for football games.
Right.
'Cause they got to make their money.
Yeah. Which they do.
Yeah, which they do. Yeah. So they talked about that. They, and then we were done. They fed us lunch. We went to their little food court area, which is way cool.
They got a Chick-fil-A?
They got Chick-fil-A. They had a Subway. They had
Payway?
had
Was it Payway?
a Chinese place.
Yeah.
They had a Chinese place, and we got food was included. So we went and got some food. I spilled a meatball on me.
You did.
Yeah, it was.
You didn't even talk about it. Like, we drove 9 hours to get there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did.
I almost died
We drive. Why'd you almost die?
because I squirted ketchup in your truck.
Oh yeah. We stopped to get food, and
I thought you were real mad.
you're not a. I love you.
I love you.
But you are, outside of being a bad travel
Booker?
booker person,
Okay. All right.
you're a bad travel snack eater person as well.
So can we have a conversation about all of this? Me being bad about it, then maybe that means is you as my partner and me being travel princess, because that's what I get to be because you don't let me drive.
No.
Maybe you should pack the snacks if you want something in particular, because I pack the snacks that I like. And hold on, that we had in the house.
Except for the peanut butter filled pretzels.
I did not pack those.
So
but you also didn't say that you wanted those.
So here's the rule. These aren't my rules.
They are your rules.
These are the universe's
No,
rules.
they're your rules.
When you're traveling, good snacks are ones that you don't eat all at one time. Like, I put my snacks in a cup, like peanuts.
You're the only one on the planet that does
No,
that.
I
Yes,
don't.
you are. It's fine.
People think it's weird, but it's. I don't have to use my fingers.
I get it.
I don't get stuff in my fingers. But you want to snack as you drive. You
Yes.
don't want to have like a protein bar or a granola bar, something like that.
I like to crunch.
Where you're like 4 or 5 bites and you're done. You want something that's going to give you at least a good 20 miles, So
I forgot your pretzels. My bad.
So everything that she packs, I mean, when we drove across country to California the first time, she packed a pickle. Like,
It was the most delicious pickle on the planet.
who travels eating travel food as a pickle.
I do.
Nobody.
It was delicious.
Have you listening ever been on an interstate traveling and looked in the car next to you and seen someone eating a pickle?
I love pickles.
Yes, I love filet mignon. I love steak. I love lobster, but I don't eat that when I'm
love
traveling.
lamb.
I love lamb. I don't eat those things while I'm traveling. So,
No, but you can eat a pickle while you're traveling because it's like one little ding dong pickle.
and if you need to get like food, right? You don't want things like shredded lettuce or a lot of sauces, or even something that you have to dip things in.
I like to dip.
That's not travel food. Travel food, like peanut butter and jelly, perfect. Because after a while it becomes kind of compact.
Oh, I didn't even think about peanut butter and jelly, and I did not make any to pack.
Straight up ham and
bad.
cheese or turkey and cheese or something like that. Those are good snacks.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A's great. Like the number one, and I don't even have a problem before you get back on the road is you put just a little bit of mayo. You don't put as much mayo on the chicken sandwich as you would in the restaurant. You just put a little bit for the taste because they do have the best mayonnaise.
They do, and I like to goop it.
Yeah. So Chick-fil-A's good because it's not messy, and then you got your waffle fries.
I got to dip them.
That's the thing. Sometimes you got to take a step back from the norm is you're not dipping when you're driving.
You have so many rules.
They're not my rules.
They are your rules.
They're the universe's rules.
I almost squirted ketchup all over your truck.
Oh my God. Out of the corner of my eye, I not only saw it, but my ears heard it. Right? So at first I hear this.
It was like a movie.
And
in
then
like slow-mo.
And then I look
like lasers out of your eye.
Corner of my eye, I look and I just see the ketchup starting to fountain out of the packet as I'm doing, 70, 75 miles per hour. And I'm going, this is going to be bad. And
I caught it.
You caught it.
I did. I caught it.
You did.
And it was good. And it was so delicious to dip my fries in my ketchup and mayo.
Can you imagine if I got in a wreck because you squirted ketchup in my eye and the cop says what happened? And I'm like,
I squirted him, sir.
My wife squirted in my eyes. He's going to be like, you're the man.
This is Alabama. We like to do that here.
Is she your sister? So we get through orientation. We got there. We arrived alive. We did. So here's the other thing. They're really, really smart. Okay. And I'm comparing a lot of this to when I went to college. That's the only thing I got, right? So I went to a very small school. My first 2 years of school, even UCF at the time was a small school. It's nothing. UCF's the largest school in the country right now. When I was there, it was not. It was still a transient school. Mm-hmm. Wingate was a glorified high school, and it was Wingate College at the time. It's Wingate University now, so I don't know how big they've gotten, but I mean, there was less than 3,000 people there. And even out of the less than 3,000 people at Wingate at the time, it's about 20 miles east of Charlotte. And I played ball there. It's just a D2 school, but they were transients because there were people that lived locally, like in Matthews or in Charlotte or in Wingate or something. They were like, I'm going to go to school later and I'll just drive and stay at home. So it wasn't a party school. There wasn't a lot of kids walking around on campus or anything like that. Mm. And I remember going there the first time I went there on a visit, like on a football visit. And I was just like Beez was excited to go up to the store. Mm-hmm. You want to get your college gear. And I get that.
You gotta I
understand that.
Gotta get some merch.
Wingate didn't have much.
Oh, really?
It was very.
Oh, that's no fun.
It was very, very, very small. Well, I got a shirt. I think I got some shorts, very comfy shorts. Mm-hmm. And that was the extent of it. That was it. I think when, football started, they gave us a Wingate football t-shirt or something like that. Now, the University of Alabama, and I'm sure every other school in the country as well, totally different scene.
Oh, they have the soup store, and it is gigantic. And there's numerous of them. Right.
The soup store is their merch store. And that's not including the other stores that they have that sell merchandise for the University of Alabama.
On crack everywhere.
Alabama's partnered with Nike and also Lululemon.
Yep.
Which
brilliant
is very expensive. Mm-hmm. And you go into this store and you're not getting out of this store for less than $300.
Oh, not at all.
Not even close.
Nope.
And what do you do? I mean, what do you say? I mean, you got to get your merch and stuff. So in my head, and my mother did this to me when I was a kid and I hated it. It was like when we would go to a theme park, she would never let me get something at the theme park because she would always say, we can get it cheaper back home.
That is so you.
That's where I learned it.
Wow.
Let me tell you.
Wow.
It makes sense.
No.
There's no need to go to Disney and get a Mickey Mouse when you can come back home to the grocery store and just get a mouse.
Oh, stop it. Oh, stop.
For $20 cheaper.
You need to go home. You're not allowed to participate anymore.
Or while you're at, in this case, the University of Alabama, go on to Amazon and have it shipped to the house when you get back for $20 cheaper.
No, because we're there for the experience. And she is in this gigantic school for an incredible life experience for the first time. Orientation. You have to do it there.
Why do I have to pay $20 to $50 more for the experience when I can save it and still have the kind of experience?
All right, Joan, you're no fun.
That's where I learned it.
Listen, we're going to have to retrain that brain.
I could have got out of there for $200 cheaper and had the stuff waiting here.
Nope.
It might have not been a straight up Alabama, but it would have looked damn close.
Get out of here. You listen, that will not fly with your daughter. Have you met your daughter?
I know. Well, she needs to.
You know why? No, she needs to nothing because you have created that.
No, it was.
With her, you have created her standards.
And they've got everything.
You have given her good standards.
And I've given her bad bougie standards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's okay.
Poor guy, whoever dates her.
Well, you know what? He's got to work hard.
So we get through the soup store, we get through that, and then it's like 6-7 o'clock, and we go and we get some food, and
we went to that barbecue place. It was so good.
Southlands. Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Southlands.
Oh,
I think
so
they're
good.
a chain, but that was the first one, I believe.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, their sauce is real good.
Yeah.
We're trying to do local stuff. So I think we went to a couple local restaurants, and the food was good, but very similar to like a beach town, especially in the summer, college towns.
Everything closes down early.
8 o'clock, nothing's happening. It's done. So where are we?
Best Western.
In a Best Western. 2 beds, 3 people, 1 TV. Tuscaloosa, 8 p.m., just closing your eyes, trying to get to the next day.
So do you think that because we have to plan, so our next trip is going to be Parents Weekend, which is going to be very involved. Like you have to do Parents Weekend for the sorority. And like we have to do parties and brunches, all kinds, so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that we stay at one of the other hotels that's closer? That, you tell me.
I think in that case, we splurge and try to find a La Quinta.
I can't wait for the La Quinta. But we had a conversation on the way home about getting an RV.
Or a bed trailer or whatever they are.
I don't know what a bed trailer is, but that does not know.
It's a little fellow that you put on the back instead of getting a full driving RV.
Why is it called a bed trailer?
It's not. I made that up.
Okay.
It wasn't the full blown RV. It was the just about everything.
Fifth wheel. It's called a fifth wheel.
Whatever.
A bed trailer. I don't think I want one of those. I'll go fifth wheel. I don't think I want a bed trailer. It sounds dirty.
U-Haul, I sleep.
Wow.
Whatever it is, Yeah, we could. So we found out that even the Best Western, like during football, and this is for those of you that are Alabama fans and that go to the football games.
We're learning.
And I know some of you that listen are, and we've got many friends that are diehard Alabama fans,
Yeah.
so you're going to have to learn us a little bit. We've now learned that game day weekend, the rooms are ridiculously expensive.
And booked out.
Even
you pay for the Best Western $400 a night.
$400
Western.
$400 of the Best Western for University of Alabama game day. So we have this semi-brilliant idea of buying, a bed trailer and
or a fifth wheel,
whatever it's called, pulling it behind the truck and finding an RV park
Such a good idea.
and sleeping there. Now,
Yeah.
I'm sure we're not the only people
Not at all.
with this idea, but I think this is a good alternative that will save a lot of money.
It's a better idea. And we can take the puppies. Look, Tuna wants to go.
Take the dogs.
Yeah, Henry needs to go.
Henry needs to go.
Yeah, he is going to be a disaster when Beez goes to school.
So I know this is going to come as a shock to many of you, but I'm not a big camper guy.
No, you're 5-star bougie something. Your daughter gets it from somewhere. I like to camp. You're like, what?
My
No.
idea of outdoor is possibly going into a Bass Pro Shop.
That's a true statement. Oh, that's so true.
It's not that I haven't done it before. It's that I choose not to do it.
It's so much fun, though.
I don't get it. I just don't understand it. I'd rather sit in a nice hotel room with Wi-Fi and all that stuff.
Which is why it's a better option for us to do the fifth wheel or an RV, because then there are beds, there are showers, there are potties.
Mm-hmm.
Your 4-star minimum situation can be accommodated within our own little bubble. And it being our own little bubble works well for you, because then we're in our own little bubble, and that's what you like.
So I could do that.
Yeah.
You know,
I know. You could do that.
I can't do the RV because I don't think I can drive it. The fifth wheel, as you're calling it, I can do that just as long as it's not too big, because backing those things up, I struggle with. I have learned how to better navigate a trailer thanks to our old neighbor, Ron, who taught me a very valuable lesson. I sound like I'm like 15 and Dad taught me a lesson. But this guy's like, he's an outdoorsy guy. He's a former firefighter. This guy, he's a man's man, right? So when we had the big U-Haul trailer, and I just withheld the truth of
You're
that.
such a liar face.
I didn't tell you that I backed it up.
Yet you allowed me to believe that you backed the trailer perfectly into the driveway. Now, mind you, we had the conversation before I got home, and I said, just leave it. I'll pull it in when I get home. And then I got home, and the trailer was like perfectly in the driveway. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm so proud of you. And you're like, yeah, I did great.
I delegated power.
You're a liar face.
I didn't lie to you. That's what a good leader does.
Something like that.
You know, Ron came over and but
you called Ron and said, Ron, I need you to back this into my driveway.
It didn't quite go like that. It was similar.
Okay.
Very close. But it was more like, it was a lot like what you just said.
I know.
But he taught me that you have to turn into the trailer. So if you look out your left rear view mirror and the trailer is kind of jacked that way, like it's like human nature to turn the steering wheel the other way. But you turn the steering wheel into the trailer in order to straighten it out.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
See, you learned. Now you're going to be a professional fifth wheel driver.
So I think thanks to Ron, our old California neighbor, I am ready to drive a bed trailer to the University of Alabama for us to have a place to stay on game day week.
Can we name it Bed Trailer?
Absolutely.
We're going to plaster that.
Yeah.
Roll Tide Bed Trailer.
Yeah. Roll Tide bed trailer. And we'll make friends and they'll be like, the Roll Tide bed trailer guys are here.
Yes. Can't wait.
We love them people.
Can't wait.
Yeah, they always bring good food.
You got beer?
Yeah, beer. So after that, we went home or went to the Best Western, the BW. We slept. And then the next day, so we spent an extra day because we were able to get a tour of where
Beez, little condo.
Yeah, Beez is going to be living. And it's kind of like, it's not full blown live on your own, but it's not full blown dorm either. But it's
off campus housing, but it's still technically on campus.
Yeah, it's a combination of two. And what I mean by that is, they have suites. So like a real apartment, you're not going to have a suite. In a real house, you're not going to have a suite. So, you have a common area with a kitchen and a living room, and then you have 3 other roommates, in which she knows the other girls, I believe, right?
Yeah, she knows the girls that she's going to be living with.
So there's 4 rooms, and the place is nice. I mean, it's actually very nice. I mean,
Yeah, it's a cute little condo.
It comes furnished and, all that kind of good stuff. So we get there and we notice that 2 out of the 4 rooms are larger than the other 2, which I don't know why they would do that, but they did. They do. And they have different floor plans. So this nice young girl that was giving us a tour, we were able to talk to her. And because
we changed it, we had the biggest room.
Yeah, we got Beez the biggest room,
Yep.
Which makes things a lot easier, especially for me, that I don't have to do much to the closet.
Yeah. Well, you have to add an extra row of hanging, which you can do.
Easy.
And it's a good location. The girls can walk to. They have this little downtown area on campus. So cool. Where they've got a Publix. They've got the police departments there. They've got a little Waffle House.
Bar.
All the little bars and restaurants and some shopping. All that stuff is right 2 blocks away.
Yeah. I like that the police department's right there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Police department's right next to the bar.
Yeah.
Your daughter's going to a bar, right?
Whoever that bar owner was like, shit, maybe this wasn't a good idea. So we got to tour that, and that was cool, and she's got surveillance
Measures.
parking and all that good stuff. So it's
all the security in place, which is good.
Security,
Key fobs to get in.
Safe, and it's all great. And then, we were trying to kill some time and trying to get in some of the local stuff. So we took a tour of this old house. It's like one of the oldest houses that survived the burning of the Civil War days and all that kind of stuff. And
so cool.
And I forget the name of the family.
Vandergraff.
And one of the sons, if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have a nuclear bomb right now because he invented the
that metal thing.
that ball thing you put your hands on, the electricity comes out, makes your hands stand up.
The Vandergraff.
Yeah. He invented that, and Oppenheimer said that he would have never been able to invent the atomic bomb if it weren't without that. So thank that dude for all that stuff.
And they were Alabama football players.
Yeah.
Fellas.
But this house was scary sick. I mean, it was awesome. And not all of it was the original. And so our tour guide, on the website, said free tour. And we're like, okay, we'll take a free tour. So we show up and there's another family there and the tour guide doesn't show up. So just randomly, this dude he tells us he works in the house as a photographer.
And he says he's been there since the beginning and for 25, 30 years. And I swear that he was a ghost.
Oh my God, me too.
Yeah.
I thought he was.
No, he was a ghost.
I guarantee if we go back, we'll never be able to find that guy.
And then people will be like, well, but there weren't any tours scheduled for this day.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think he was a ghost. And he knew too much about secret holes in walls and just odd things that I don't even know
And he was trying to deter us from thinking that it was haunted.
He did.
There's no way that you can have a house in the South during the Civil War days
where not haunted.
Where a death occurred in the house, a guy committed suicide, that's not haunted.
Right.
No way.
Right.
So I think he was
he was totally a ghost.
Deterrent ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
He used to throw everybody off the scent.
And then he disappeared. When we were done, he was like, well, thanks for touring. We turned around and he's
gone. I'm telling you, I know it is.
Yeah, that was
just
really...
has to be the case. And just he came out of nowhere also.
Oh, yeah. And then if he worked there, and I saw the place where he's supposed to work, don't you think that he would...
have opened the doors to let us in?
Right.
Or to that area of the house?
Shown us his photography or something.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nope.
It was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really weird.
Yep, he just showed up and he took us into the part of the house that he wasn't supposed to, down in the basement area and the back hallway through the kitchen. Because I was like, well, you said that the kitchen is in the basement. That's kind of weird, but I guess it's normal thing for back in the day. And he was like, I said, can we see it? Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, let's go this way. I'll show you this way. And then he showed us this super creepy hole that they put the food in. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to lean over this. I feel like he's going to push me in.
Yeah, because back in those days, you would put the food in a pit in the ground to keep it cold.
That was in the basement that had like a caged lid. It just looked like one of the, we've been watching a lot of like suspenseful movies off of Netflix at nighttime. You've been doing a really good job picking some really awesome ones, but probably not good for me out in public.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody's going to try to murder me.
Really, really good. So we got that. That was interesting. Highly suggest if you're ever in Tuscaloosa to take a tour with the ghost of that house.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Really, really cool. So, like, request the ghost. Bald-headed guy, a little bit of a gut, kind of a smart ass, allegedly a photographer.
Yeah.
Looks very pale. Ghost.
How he's been a photographer for 30 years in a really old house.
Yeah. And when he took a picture of all of us with him in it, he wasn't in the picture. It was just an orb. And then, we were done. And the next day we got in the old truck and came back to Orlando, and 9 hours later. But this is good. Everything about, I think we're hitting our stride. Right?
We are.
What we've gone through this past year, I would not wish on my worst enemy. Not true. My worst enemy, I'd wish worse. But
yeah, he can have it.
It's been rough. I mean, we try to have fun and joke and stuff, but it's
been really hard.
I don't want to say rough or tough because we're bigger and stronger than that. It's been challenging.
There you go.
Challenging is the word, because you have to control your own narrative. You should never, ever let anyone else or anything else dictate what your life is going to be and how it's going to end, right? So we've done a very good job of controlling the narrative.
Sure.
Things are changing. Yep. We're finally going to have a comfortable home base with this new house. Our super secret project this week, knock on wood, I think will
everybody give me the good juju. I am so excited about this.
Becoming into fruition. Mm-hmm. You got your real estate license, which was easy. I mean,
that's easy.
No big deal. Well, it is a big deal, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it's easy for you to do.
Yeah.
Caleb's doing well.
Caleb's doing well.
And, Poppy's recovering.
Poppy's doing well. He's very excited to get out of the house and do a couple things, projects at the new house to keep him busy.
My mother makes us laugh because she still struggles with GPS.
It was funny.
And Beez is getting ready to enter her final stages of her adolescent life.
This made me feel better.
It made me feel better, too.
It made me feel so much better to see that she's going to be in such a good environment and have every opportunity ahead of her.
Yeah.
That this is what I wanted for her.
Yeah.
I wanted for her to have this experience. I wanted for her to be able to go through these life things so easily and have so much fun. It took a weight off of any, I guess, unknown. I feel good about her doing this.
Yeah. And so everything's good. We're moving in a very positive direction. This is, one of the big things, obviously, with Beez. So we're feeling good. We're now part of the cult that is Roll Tide. It's Roll Tide or Roll Tide Roll?
A little bit of both. I mean, you can do both.
What did they say?
When you say it to someone, you say Roll Tide.
Okay, you don't go Roll Tide Roll.
No, I don't think so.
Ooh, we better work on that.
Well, can you call Linda? Ask her. She knows. Linda knows.
Excuse me, ma'am. Got a question for you, just real quick, if you got some time. All right, so that does it for episode 15 of the Honey Podcast. And I tell you, the orientation was good. It was great. Couple reminders, if you don't mind. We have an entire week of shows, for the most part, with the BS coming up. Always good stuff. Last week, the Alex Moreno and Nick Weary and our guests are just absolutely great and awesome when we have them on. The content is good. If you're looking for a podcast to subscribe to, we hope that you join us. We've got a great group of people, and you can subscribe on thebaileyshow.com and support the cause. And it's cool. A lot of people do it, and we got cool things that are coming up, especially for those that subscribe, you two peers that are subscribers. We've got Podcast in Pores 3, which is open to everybody. It's going to be in Buford, Georgia, October 12th at Tannery Row. It's the site of where we did Podcast in Pores 2. Headlining is Chuck's band, Distinct Grace. We'll have a quote-unquote live podcast there with myself and Chuck and Brandon. We'll have special guests. We'll have, the Mad Dog said he's going to show up. So it's going to be really, really cool.
And I'm coming in my Alabama gear.
Well, Rachel will be there in her Roll Tide gear. I don't think that's the week that Georgia and Alabama play, so I think we'll be safe. And we'll have a acoustic karaoke contest if all goes well with $1,000 in cash and prizes. We'll have merch. It's going to be a blast. So we hope that you join us there as well. Get your tickets now while they're only $20, distinctgrace.com. Subscribe to the podcast and, of course, all the socials. Give us a like, share, follow, thebaileyshow.com. Especially subscribe to the YouTube channel and tons of content thrown up there on all of our socials. Subscribe to the newsletter. Get that out a couple times during the month. And, we'll have a good time. But we appreciate the support, not only for this podcast, but for the BS. We hope that you're enjoying everything that we do. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. All right. You got anything before we get out? Is that it?
Man, I'm just ready to roll tide.
You're just ready to roll
I'm just
tide.
ready. I'm ready now.
All right. As always, thanks for the support. Thanks for listening. Please share the content. Tell people if you like it, tell them they need to like it too. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, bye.
I realize not everyone feels this way, and if you are okay with this stage of your life, honestly, more power to you.
Thanks for listening. Get more information and episodes on thebaileyshow.com.
Honey, I raised the kids.
Subscribe at thebaileyshow.com. Yeah, baby.